Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tending the Flag. It is the PGA Championship week, the second major of the year, of course, happening at Quail Hollow, and we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Truist Championship, which Kevin was able to attend, and we'll give you an update on a golf course that's getting a makeover. That's going to be kind of awesome. But before we get started, introductions are in order. My name, of course, is PJ Kanojian, and I'm coming to you from the lovely city of Williamsburg, Virginia, and coming to you from a state where I was just lazy and didn't look up any facts on, so I'm just going to make one up and say it contains the largest amount of, well, you know what? No popes have come from the state of Delaware. There we go. So Kevin coming from a popeless state of Delaware. How you doing tonight, Kev?
I'm doing great. It is a popeless state. It is currently a very, very wet state. But yeah, we're okay. We're okay. We do have a president, though.
That's true. And I can brag that I'm originally from a Pope state of Pennsylvania, of course, and Pope's of Villanova grad. So that more specifically brings it into my home county of Delaware County. So yeah,
By ways of Chicago.
go for the Pope. Yeah, native of Chicago, but Nova. We're taking it.
We're taking it.
Okay. We're they're changing all the communion wine into Malort, and everybody's rolling from there. But we're not here to talk about the Pope. No, that's more for the EWTN podcast network. We're here to talk about golf, and again, PGA Championship week, second major in. What is it? Just under a month or just over a month? Kev, how do you feel about the majors being this close together?
As a spectator, I think I really enjoy it. It's a lot of meaningful golf, back to back to back to back to back. So it makes for a fun summer to watch in a dead sports time when there's really only baseball. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one because you basically have three majors if you think about it. You got the Players, which is quote-unquote the fifth major, the Masters and the PGA, all within a span of a few weeks, and a couple signature events thrown in there. It's great springtime viewing, going up against NBA and the NHL when they're getting hot, and baseball's just around the corner. And we got the rest of the summer, and we still got the U.S. Open and the Open to look forward to. So a lot of good things coming up.
Yeah, a lot of very good events coming up, and throw in all these signature events as well. So you got a lot of things to look forward to.
Absolutely. And speaking of signature events, we had the Truist at the Philadelphia Cricket Club this weekend. And Kev, you were there to volunteer a little bit. I guess tell us the story. What was it like?
Yeah, sure. The local children's hospital here, Nemours Health, has a tent that they sponsored, and I was helping volunteer through them, not officially with the tournament, but I was in their kids zone. They had some cool games. They had like Wii Golf going on. They had some mini golf inside. And then they also sponsored a autograph zone. So the tent was right next to the driving range. And on the other side of the driving range, they had a little like fenced in gate. So kids could all get autographs and all that cool stuff. So we were giving out like Sharpies and visors and stuff for them to take over there. It was a cool event. I had the morning shift, which was like 9 o'clock to 12:30. So after 12:30, I was able to head out on the course. Got to catch all the leaders teeing off. I camped out on 4 and was able to see everybody hit shots. So yeah, it was a cool event. Cool course to be out on. I've only driven past it maybe once or twice, so it was nice to set foot on it.
Yeah, I used to drive past it all the time when I was doing like Uber and grocery delivery out in that area, and it's just like, if only I could just stop my car and pull over. I drove by it one time when the Champions Tour was there. Having one of their majors, and I just kind of like slow rolled past it to take a look. But it's a cool place, the oldest country club in the States. I mean, it's really historical.
Yeah, it's a cool course. I believe they also hosted like an amateur 4-ball tournament last year as well. The PGA hasn't been there, but USGA and some of the amateur events have been through. So it's a good noted course.
Yeah, well, we did have a lot of good feedback from some of the players, too, saying how cool of a course it was. It's a short course, it being an old course, so it definitely makes things a little bit different. since these guys are used to just playing, it's been a lot of Bombers Paradises recently, but switching to a short course, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, Rory had some very interesting comments coming out in the practice rounds. And it was basically like, what an awesome design. The problem is all the bunkers are at 300, 310, and we just go right over it now. I believe he said something like, if the course, every hole was like 30 yards longer, this would be an awesome course. So high praise. And it's a 1800s course with little modifications here and there. It's not meant for the modern game, but the design itself, it held its own.
Oh, yeah. Like, some of these old courses can be super challenging. Palatka, I was thinking of one down in right near St. Augustine, Florida. Well, Palatka, Florida, I guess. It's another one of those really old courses, but it is so hard. It's a Donald Ross design, and he can still kick your ass 100 years later after designing a course just because of the way he designs the courses. So you're thinking about it more than just, obviously the pros can bomb it out there, have no problem with it, but it makes us think about how we have to play our game a little bit better rather than just going up, all right, driver, whack, and I think it's more of a mental challenge than anything else, these old courses.
Yeah, these Golden Age courses, they still hold their own. Let's be honest, they still hold their own. The way that they are designed, the shapes of the greens that Tillinghast put on Philly Cricket, they're insane. There's tiers all over the place. You can't short side yourself. Just phenomenal green complexes up there that made a great test of golf for these pros, even when they're saying that it's too short of a course. We had a bunch of guys set course records on Thursday, but the problem was we got so much rain leading up to the event that the greens were soft. They were very receptive. And as the course dried up, it was still challenging. It wasn't Marion, where they were talking about, like, it'll never come back to Marion because it's too easy of a course. And I believe, like, One Over won the tournament that year. It wasn't that hard of a test. But, the scores weren't, 4 under. That's a normal round of golf on the PGA Tour, I feel like.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything that was, like, too far outside the realm of what normal is, but short course, as we said, the 14th hole was the shortest par 3 in PGA Tour history. It came in at 95 yards.
Yeah, dude, how awesome is that, by the way, for a PGA Tour event to have a 95-yard par 3?
Yeah, it's just a little, chip. These guys can take a putter and do it. It's great.
It was cool to see. And then I think just 2 holes later, I believe that was 14 or something like that, and then 16 was playing 14. Over 200. You're talking about, different shots that you've got to hit on this course. It's not all cookie cutter.
All right, so pop quiz for you because, I've told you this. I don't think I've brought it out to the general public, but alas, I am no longer a trivia host. The bar decided to no longer do trivia. But the spirit is still there, so I will ask you, what is the course that played shorter? Now, again, 14, Cricket Club, shortest in PGA Tour history, non-majors. What is the only other one that played shorter? It was a major, I'll tell you that.
It was a major? I don't have that, man.
We got 15th at LACC.
Really? Okay. Recently?
Yep. Yeah, that came in I think it was like 80 some odd yards. I don't have that number in front of me, but it was 80 some odd yards.
That is so cool to me. I don't know about most people, but just seeing a little pitch shot to like a putt green would be, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, it's something different from seeing these guys usually hitting the 200 plus yard par 3s that might be drivable for us as a par 4, but it's the same, I guess, distances that you're seeing constantly on the tours, and to throw something in there like this makes it a lot different. And that just goes, again, with the course being so short. A stark contrast to Quail Hollow, which we have this week, which is going to be just, you hit straight up nukes, and that's all you do.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like one of the problems with some of the newer age golf is that things get repetitive really, really quickly. And seeing Absolutely. Like a 200, 190 yard, 180 yard par 3, the drastic differences are what makes it fun.
Oh yeah, even with our regular amateur games that we play, I've played so many courses in Florida that was just driver, 8-iron, driver, 9-iron, driver, wedge, driver, 7. You hit 4 clubs in your bag. You don't even need to bring your whole bag to the course half the time. But the old courses I played down there, Palatka, for instance, the one, both of us played it. What was it up in, I'm already blanking on the name. The one you recommended to me.
Gallon Hall.
Gallon Hall. Yes, that was it. Thank you. Good Lord. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But that was another course. Yeah, it just varied, and that's what made it so awesome because I was using every club in the bag out there.
Yeah, Gallon Hall was really cool. They had the smallest green I think I've ever seen on that course. But it was like a 280-yard par 4. Like
sand on both sides.
It was the perfect risk reward, if you would. Like, you can make it really short, and then you have this green that if you miss, you're kind of screwed and you're making bogey. It was really cool.
And that's the brilliance with those old courses. You don't get that much in newer designs. And I get it. Like, you're trying to make the game more accessible to everybody, so you have to make it easier. But at the same time, for us more like, I'll say better, more experienced, more seasoned golfers, we want that challenge, and I think that's the charm of the old courses.
Yeah, I agree. I love the old school charm. I do appreciate the modern day architecture and the visual ness of, water or, high grass and wispy stuff and the color contrast. I think the modern age courses just look stunning, but they're missing that kind of old school using the land kind of architecture as well.
Yeah, and Ricky Fowler, he said it was refreshing to play Northeast golf with an old school golf course. He said the Philly Cricket Club's a special place, and the Philly area should not take it for granted. And he said a lot of the guys would love to see a Philly area stop each year. And I don't know if I'd want to see Cricket Club every year. I think it's kind of cool as a very special thing to happen. Maybe a U.S. Open coming there. Maybe not necessarily a regular stop, but there are plenty of great courses in Philly that could take a look. Or even Jersey. New York's got a couple good ones. Delaware is Delaware.
Delaware does not. Well, we've got Wilmington. We hosted a PGA event. That's about all that's near here that can handle something like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great courses in the Philly area that could probably handle something of this magnitude. Maybe not a major, but a regular stop on tour.
Yeah, so here's the problem with a lot of these really good courses that are around us. Most of these golf courses here are kind of in old housing developments, essentially. So to put it in reference, the daily capacity at Philly Cricket Club was 15,000, I believe I heard. While something like TBC Sawgrass, which granted was built to be a stadium course, that can hold about 50,000 people every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not the space for all the equipment on a lot of these golf courses, all the trailers. Luckily, Philly Cricket Club has a second course that they were able to shut down and house most of the, parking or the TV area and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's a very good point. Like, there's the space isn't up there, which is why it would have to be a smaller event, but I don't know, more Northeast golf, I think, needs to be on the schedule.
Oh, definitely. Even Marion, I remember the stories coming out of Marion. They were basically digging up people's backyards to lengthen the golf course. The house is right behind some of the golf tees. They literally knocked down the fence, moved the tees back 40 yards onto their property just to make it, long enough for the tour to stop there. It was pretty funny.
And those are some expensive-ass houses up there.
Oh, Ooh. Gosh. They were getting good
shell
money
out a
for
couple
that.
bucks.
They were getting some good money for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to become a member at the Philadelphia Cricket Club, of course, there are no prices on the website. You have to, call up for that. But they have a couple options. They have the National Golf Membership. They have the Junior Social Membership. You have the House Membership, which includes unlimited use for all family members of dining facilities, social events, and the fitness center. You have the Intermediate, which has all those before, and intermediate members may play up to 8 rounds of golf per year on the Wissahickon and Militia Hill golf courses with payment of the guest fee. Golf in Waiting. This includes membership to the Wissahickon and Militia Hill golf courses. Golf privileges are dependent on which golf in waiting category you are in, and full privileges includes Unlimited access to the Wissahickon and Militia Hill golf courses, all athletic facilities at St. Martin's, and all the dining, socials, and fitness center. I have a feeling that is not cheap.
Yes, I don't think it is that cheap. But I also don't think it's all that unreasonable for the stature of the golf club.
Let's see. I looked to see if I could find some sort of estimate here. Let me see. This is from 2020. Philadelphia Cricket Club. We have full privileges is $987 for a family, so $779 for an individual. That's for ages 36 plus, so that's where we would be at. Which that's not terrible, actually.
Yeah, I thought I saw something that like full family memberships like $3,000 a month, which I thought was relatively inexpensive, to be fair.
That very well could have changed since from 2020. I don't see them going up that much, but yeah, full privileges for the 36 plus individual, $779 individual, $987 family. Not too bad. Your membership dues, you got a $5,000 upon election to membership, $5,000 due upon your 1 year. Your monthly payment for 10 years is $200, and your upfront payment option, you can just knock it all out at once for $2,700.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Or 27,000. I'm sorry, 27,000.
Why not? Go for it.
If you live around the area, you got that kind of money. It's in a nice area.
It is. It is in a very nice area up there. And there's a bunch of local, or I will say local, closer golf courses in that vicinity. Some really nice private clubs up there, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the results, though, Sepp Straka pulled this one out over Shane Lowry.
He did. So second player this year to win multiple tournaments on the tour.
Correct. Yeah, he sees the lead on a par 16, or he sees the lead with a par on the 16th hole. He shot a 268, which took out Shane Lowry on Sunday. They were pretty close up until that point, though. Shane Lowry just seemed to fall apart. He missed a green with his tee shot on the 212 par 3 16th. Straka hit it to 30 feet, and that was kind of the end of it for him. Straka took the lead and didn't look back.
Lowry had a chance to tie on 17 with a birdie putt, missed that, and then he just had a really unfortunate 3-putt on 18 to really seal the deal, as Straka had like a 5-foot putt for par and just made it so he could 2-putt it. But yeah, it was a good roller coaster round and a good battle between Lowry and Straka. Lowry birdied 1, took the lead early, gave it up, and then Straka bogeyed 10 and 11 to bring it back to a tie. It had the makings of a great final pairing.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Shane Lowry just kind of cursed himself by not fist bumping a little girl?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a curse back there somewhere. I mean, he hasn't won on the PGA Tour since 2019 British Open.
No, and you know what that is? Like, people, I see on the internet, people are crapping on him, like, how could you leave a little girl hanging? Dude was in the zone right there. Like, I'm not gonna put that on him. He's in the zone trying to win a trying to win a golf tournament. So don't get upset if he doesn't fist bump you or a little girl or something like that. He's locked in. Like, he's trying to lock in, concentrate.
He's also one of the more emotional players too. So,
oh yeah,
if he was playing really well, I'm sure he'd be fist bumping a bunch of people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, locked in. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I agree.
With the win, Sepp Straka moved to number 2 in the FedEx standings. He got $3.6 million on his win. And here's the cool part, and I thought this was awesome. They give away a cricket bat trophy to the winner.
I agree. I love it. I love something unique, except for the Masters trophy, which is a picture of their clubhouse. But the cricket bat being at Cricket Club was awesome. I loved that Straka got the trophy and was like, am I holding this right? Is this the right direction? It was a cool touch. There's a lot of cups. There's a lot of plates. But there aren't many cricket bat trophies that I know of.
Yeah, and I think that more courses should be doing that because it gets boring after a while. See, NASCAR has a lot of that. Like, they give a boot away, I think, for one of their races. Another race, I want to say it's the Music City 500, and I don't know NASCAR, but I think that might be in Memphis, considering it's Music City. They give away a guitar, if I'm not mistaken. I'd like to see some of that come to the tour. That could be really interesting.
It could be interesting. I mean, there's some pretty elaborate trophies out there. None better, by the way, than the Claret Jug. That is up there with the Stanley Cup as the best trophy in all of sports. I would argue the Claret Jug might be number one, but that's just me personally.
I wouldn't fight you on that. It's awesome. It's very simple, but the gravitas behind it is just unbelievable. Like, it was. I remember when we went to that museum and we saw it in person. It was like looking at a holy relic.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It's like, I want to reach out and touch it, but I know I could never be worthy enough.
I would love to give a special shout out to Justin Thomas, finished second this week with a very consistent 66, 67, 66, 67. Was 3 shots back on Sunday, had a chance to make birdie, I believe on 15, to put him in a tie for the lead. Just missed it, but starting 3 shots back and contending with the leaders. Good for him. He's playing some really good golf right now.
And how often do you see that and not a win? Because usually you'll see like a 70 thrown in there, maybe a 71. But to shoot that low consistently, you don't see that without the dub very often.
No, you're right. I mean, it's the slow and steady mindset. I mean, Straka went out to 63 on Thursday and kind of gave him the early advantage, and kind of had that same coast coming home. But again, good for Justin Thomas, and a guy who I believe he won his last start as well about a month ago.
Yeah,
and coming in second this week too. Good for him.
Yeah, so Straka moves into the top 10 of the world ranking, and he's most likely going to make the European Ryder Cup team.
Yes.
Shane Lowry actually advocated for a cooling off period for players before fielding questions from the media after the round.
Yeah, that was before this round.
Yeah, and he declined to comment. I'll agree on this one. I mean, I've been involved in sports a lot of my life, and I know it's nowhere near the weight or gravity that these guys have had, but there's been times where I've just been so upset after a round I didn't want to do anything. I remember back when I played for Bear Fight FC, I had a game in goal. It was against the Ukrainians, the Philadelphia Ukrainians, and we were winning the game up until the very end, and I just let a stupid goal in, and we wound up tying, but I was so disappointed. I just went home and stared at a wall for about an hour and a half. Now, that may have been because I had a massive concussion. It's very possible, but like, I was just so bummed out. I wouldn't have wanted to talk to the media after that day if somebody came up and like, oh, what'd you think? Well, I would have been polite and said something, but I get it, man. I get that one. You can be really frustrated, and you have every right to do so, especially after how he wound up not taking home the trophy.
I mean, I agree. There's a big difference, though. He might not have taken home the trophy, but he took home a butt ton of money when you're playing soccer and not making any money and not having to talk to the press. In the long run, this is your job. Talking to the press needs to be part of that job, too. I'll take a cool down period, but I think just straight up walking away from it is unprofessional in professional sports.
Maybe. I mean, I think the cool down period would be really helpful, and it might change the guys' mindsets a lot. So I think we would see less of that with the cool down period. But at the same time, especially as emotional as he is, I get it. It's not okay. I agree with you that it's not okay, but in a sense, I get that.
Sure. A little note, too, Sepp Straka, he's a Georgia Bulldog alum, and our Philadelphia Eagles up here are known for having many Georgia Bulldogs on their Super Bowl winning teams. So Straka had a funny quote saying that he rooted for the Eagles a little bit last year because there was so many guys from Georgia on the team. So every time he heard a "Go Birds," it was kind of a fun thing to hear, which really plays into the Philly sports fan. Little obnoxious. We'll start an Eagles chant at any event, probably even some kind of silent library function. But yeah, it was funny. It was a funny quote for someone who's been around here, being a pretty diehard sports fan.
Yeah, what was it I saw? It was who was hitting? Was it JT? I forget. Whoever's from Dallas. He was driving, and he gets up there, and you just hear and it's like, from Dallas, Texas, so-and-so, and you just hear the crowd going, boo, F Dallas, Dallas sucks.
It was good. I want to say, I was watching on Sunday, and it might have been like Oberg, maybe. Somebody hit a putt, missed it, and there was a dude in the crowd that goes, what do you say? Putting for dough, driving for show, or something like that. And even the TV announcers are like, if you're going to say it right. It was so funny.
That's Philly. Doesn't matter. Golf, football, baseball. You got to grease the poles.
Yeah, it was funny.
Passionate group.
I will say on Saturday, we were getting about 15-mile-per-hour winds with stronger gusts pretty much the whole time I was out on the course. And I was on hole number 12, and the pin was tucked right on the left side of the green, and we happened to be standing on the left side as well. It was a short par 4 up the hill, and they're definitely hitting wedge into these greens. And we were just watching as the ball was reaching the green and literally getting blown backwards. But the wind was back into them and off to the left as well. And these guys were putting it in this greenside bunker left and right. And every time, we were talking about like a short course, I saw 5 or 6 shots from that bunker. Only one made par. And there was a double bogey in there as well from Ludwig. Yeah, cool test.
Yeah, and going back to Sepp Straka, which we forgot to mention while talking about him a second ago, he had a fill-in caddy at the last minute. His original and regular caddy, Dwayne Bach, had a back injury, so he had to step out of the competition, and he just had one of his buddies fill in, David Mathers. Or Drew Mathers, I'm sorry, Drew Mathers. I can't read tonight. Drew Mathers filled in for him.
Oh, good. Yeah, him and Straka play golf down in Alabama together. He said 26-year-old, and he's trying to play professionally. He's touring all over, doing different mini tours, a little bit of Corn Ferry, Q School, all that different stuff. It was never caddied before, by the way, at like a pro level. I think it was his first time inside the ropes at a PGA event too.
Yeah, he said, I've never experienced being a caddy on this level. The last few holes, the heart rate was spiked for sure. And that last hole, the emotions kicked in a little bit after I knew Sepp could two-putt from 3 feet. I was like, you got it. So it was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And with all those mini tours and all that stuff, the travel alone to be on these mini tours and Corn Ferry is such an expense for these amateur pro guys. So he's going to take home at least $360,000 just for this week alone.
Huge help.
Yeah,
huge help for him.
It's definitely, I mean, that's life-changing for this kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely. So good for him on that one coming up. And other notables, Rory McIlroy finishing 7th. He said he didn't play his best golf. If finishing 7th is not playing your best golf, that's scary.
Yeah, his driver was not the weapon that it normally is. He was missing fairways and just not getting into positions that he needed to on that course.
A couple other notes. Sahith Theegala withdrew before the start of the final round. He had a neck injury. I believe Michael Kim withdrew as well. So a couple withdrawals in there. Justin Rose. But a lot of guys getting good tune-ups for the championship, getting to work all the clubs in their bags. Or for the PGA Championship, getting to work all the clubs in the bag. So it's a good time. And I don't know. Hopefully they'll get back to Cricket Club at some time in the near future and maybe make Northeast Philly a regular stop. But it's always good to see those old courses and happy to get some love on the Truist.
Yeah, like a lot of good Philly courses. Aroniming's hosting the PGA Championship next year in 2026. The good guys were over at Rolling Green playing a format with the Eagles. So that might be out shortly. So a lot of good press for the local Philly courses. Shout out other places. White Marsh Valley is an awesome course right down the road from the Cricket Club as well. Marion would love to have like a yearly visit up here because there's some really cool courses.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity. But before we move on to the former home of the Truist, we got some news coming out of Scotland. Kev, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah. Royal Dornoch, which comes in at somewhere around like 2, 3, 4, depending on which list you're looking at as far as like best courses in the world, has announced that they are partnering with Kings Collins Dormer to reamp and redesign their property. They're not going to be doing any work on the championship course, but they do have a second course called the Struy that they're going to fix up a little bit, as well as they just bought a bunch of land to put a third course in. They're going to put a short game area with, I believe they put like kids routing into the short game somehow. They're going to put in, like I said, a third course, a 9-hole course, 2 putting courses, as well as a renovation to the clubhouse, which should be open, I believe, next year.
That clubhouse was nice, too. Both Kevin and I had the honor and privilege and pleasure to play that course. And, it was so cool. It was so much fun, absolutely beautiful. And the clubhouse, I'll agree, it was dated, but it was still really cool.
It was a cool clubhouse. It felt like an old kind of like Victorian home almost. Little shaggy here and there, definitely dated from, floor to ceiling. It needs that upgrade, but it was kind of the charm that went along with Dornoch. You drive into basically the town of Dornoch, and it's just a small driveway into this world-class golf course. Yeah. It has a public access road that goes right for like past the first tee and, winds through the course. It kind of had that small town feel, which I hope it doesn't get lost in this huge project. $13.9 million for a new clubhouse. You're going to put 3 18-hole courses. Yeah. It's going to be a big project. However, that is the way of golf nowadays, unfortunately. St. Andrews has 6 courses. It's a destination. The problem with Royal Dornoch was it is a destination, but it's just a you stop and you kind of leave kind of place.
Yeah, it's up there in the middle of nowhere in the Highlands, but gorgeous land.
It's been my lock screen since we've been there. I'm looking at it now.
The pictures don't do it justice that you see online. There's really only one way, and that's to experience it in person, and it's just absolutely stunning. And my favorite head cover came from there. My good old Nessie on my 5-wood. It came from there, which maybe I'll put up a picture of it on the. Maybe I should do that. I'll send you a picture of Nessie so we can put it up for the Instagram announcement of our episode. But yeah, General Manager Neil Hampton, he said, these are exciting times for everyone connected with Royal Dornoch. And with the clubhouse on target to welcome golfers from around the world next season, our thoughts are already turning to the next project. Usually the opening of a new clubhouse, which has been mooted for 30 years or more, would mark the end of the journey for any golf club. But for Royal Dornoch, it is about what the next step is going to be. The investment being made will pave the way for an even greater economic and employment benefits for the wider community, and hopefully there will be more good news to come as and when the Cole Links project gets the green light from the Scottish government. So, a lot of stuff going up in Dornoch, Scotland, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really, really neat.
Yeah, I love it. Love Dornoch, and I love the King Collins group. Sweetens Cove is one of my favorite places in the States. They also have awesome. Landman, which is one of the best courses in the Midwest of America. I couldn't think of, a better group to take on this project just because of the way that they've used the land out there, shaped the land, and just the way the golf is designed by them, I think will be a great fit for a course like Dornoch. It's an old school course, and these guys kind of have a new school feel to it, but I think their mindsets are going to be very similar. And I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, and that's exactly how Sweetens felt. It felt like it was a mix of the old school and new school.
Yeah, it felt very European, I guess. I don't want to call it Scottish because it didn't have the same colors, the same feel. But just the way the land rolls and the way the greens kind of catch your eye, it felt very, very foreign on U.S. soil.
Yeah, a spokesperson for the C4C, which is the Communities for Coal group, they said Royal Dornoch's plans have been welcomed by Communities for Coal, C4C, the community-led group behind plans for a new golf course at nearby Coal Links. And if approved, these new facilities will add to the cluster of excellent local golf facilities and complement the proposals for the new world-class course at Coal Links, making Dornoch Firth a mecca for links golf. So not just Dornoch getting some love, but Coal Links getting some love up there too, and yeah, it looks like they're trying to make it into some sort of destination to almost rival St. Andrews, at least as far as offerings go.
Yeah, definitely. So the fun part about Scotland is like every city is about 2-hour drive. It could literally be 2 miles away, but you have to drive around a mountain. It's going to be 2 hours to get there. So like St. Andrews is a destination. Aberdeen can be a destination. The Highlands up there is starting to become the same thing. You've got Castle Stewart. They're opening a second course there, and I'm pretty sure they're under the Cabot flag now. And then you got Cool Links that's opening, which should be pretty cool. And then you're going to get 3 18 holes over here at Dornoch. It's going to make it an actual, stay a week destination now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening to Castle Stewart, by the way, hi, I'm related to you guys, so hook a brother up. But you know what would be fun? I think this would be a cool opportunity for you to tell a story how we wound up playing at Dornoch, first of all, which is kind of just bonkers luck.
Yeah, it's one of the most, stumbled upon things that I've ever happened to me personally. Just for fun, I decided to take part in the Reddit Christmas exchange, and randomly draws people all across the country. The guy I got was out in Arizona. I believe I got him a book by Tiger Woods or something. I think it was requested. Anyway, so I randomly get a message on Reddit that's like, hey, UPS, got back to me and was like, we couldn't deliver such and such. It turns out the guy typed in my address wrong. And I just reached out to him, read his profile and other like posts that he made, and turns out he was a frequent traveler to Scotland. So I just started chatting with the guy. And next thing you know, it's like he's going to be over in Scotland at the same time we are. And he invited us out to play and to host us. And the best part is we're finishing up on 18. And he looks at us and is just like, hey, Merry Christmas, guys. And we're like, dude, no way. It was the best thing ever.
Oh, it's absolutely insane. Like the generosity right there to include us in that. I mean, we extended our trip just to play up there. So.
Yeah. I mean, we stayed an extra 2 days just to travel up for that. I remember driving all day to get there and then play. Dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah, and then stopping at Dalwhinnie on the way back, too, was pretty cool, too, so we added that on. But and then we ended up staying an extra week unplanned. Yeah. Yay, COVID.
But yes, the COVID times when we were not allowed to travel home.
Yeah, but now we're going to do, I don't know when we're going to do it, but we got to do a look back on that Scottish trip and, I don't know, maybe do another one and just broadcast live from Scotland.
If I have to.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to producers about that, see if we can get the budget in the... into the thing, but
no.
No. But yeah, so that's going to be great coming out of Dornoch. But moving on to the big news this week, of course, the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, the former home of the Truist Championship, the second major of the year, and it's going to be fun. I mean, I really, really, really think it's just going to come down again to Rory, Scotty, and Bryson.
I agree. I think this is going to be a course where the big names are going to be the ones pushing the envelope here. Like you said, Quail Hollow has hosted the Truist for the past few years. They've hosted the PGA Championship back in 2017. I mean, this has been a yearly stop on the tour almost since, the early 2000s. And every time that the tour is there, big names are winning. We can just look back. Rory's won, I think, 4 times there. Wyndham Clark, Max Homa, Jason Day, Justin Thomas won the PGA in 2017. Ricky Fowler's a past champion. Lucas Glover, Tiger Woods. I mean, this is a course where big name golfers succeed.
Yeah, Rory won 2010, 2015, 2021, and in 2024 at the Truist. So he shot a 6 under 65 in the final round and had a 5-shot victory over Xander Schauffele. He's had a couple runner-ups. He's had top 10s. 2023. But yeah, he finished 47th in 23, but we don't talk about that. He loves Quail Hollow. He said it was one of his favorite courses to play at.
Yeah, and I mean, why not if you've won 4 events there? I would love it too.
And it plays into his game great because all you have to do is just nuke the ball, and that's what he does.
I mean, it definitely helps. It definitely helps to absolutely nuke the ball there. It's funny coming off of Philly Cricket Club as a one of the shorter courses that they'll play. Quail Hollow is going to be playing as the one of the longer ones. It's maxing out at 7,626 yards. It's going to be the fourth longest PGA Championship ever, but it's also the longest as a par 71.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, distance is going to be a huge factor. Also, the iron play, though, is going to be a big part of it. Back in 2017, there were 8 holes that finished with a 50% or lower green in regulation.
Yeah, Greg Ducharme of the Second Cut Golf podcast, and he's also on SiriusXM. He's a CBS analyst as well. He had an awesome thread that gave a couple stats on here, so I'm just going to give you a few. There's 5 par 4s that measure over 480 yards, 3 of them over 500. 2 of the par 3s are over 220, 3 over 200, making for long approach shots. The average approach shot is 183.1, while the tour average is 167.3.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It has over the last couple years of being part of the Truist, it had the top 10 fewest GERs in 4 of 5 years. It was number 16 in 2023. The top 3 toughest proximity to hole for the last 5 years. The top 4 toughest proximity from fairway the last 5 years. So, and he said basically hit it really far and faced challenging long irons all day long. He said the field will hit driver about 85% of the time off the tee, which is tough because the fairways average just 28 yards of width. And in 3 of the last 5 years, these fairways have ranked inside the top 10 of the hardest to hit.
Yeah, that's wild.
It gets better. Dog legs are guarded by bunkers and tall trees, so you can gain a significant advantage on the following holes if you can fly it far enough, and this is where Rory and Bryson are especially going to be advantageous here. Number 1, 300 to 325. Number 2, 300 to 315. Number 5, 320. Number 15, 300 to 310. And number 16, 340 yards. Okay. Only the big hitters are going to be good there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge advantage. One of the reasons why I think Bryson's going to do so well, I saw a number that according to Golf Data, or Data Golf, Bryson is gaining over 2 strokes with his driver, a number that is so just ludicrous that it's a full shot ahead of the second place player.
Yeah, I had that in my notes too, which is absolutely insane. Rory's a close second, but Bryson also has that momentum coming off the win in Korea too.
He does, and he's also, finished top 10 in 5 of his last 9 majors. He's been the one guy from LIV that has constantly proved, that he is a force to be reckoned with in these majors.
Oh yeah, like he said he was working on his short game especially too to get in more of a shape for Quail Hollow, and I think the Masters kind of made him wake up and say, like, hey, I really need to lock in and work on this pretty hard if I'm gonna be a force to reckon with these majors coming up.
Yeah, I mean, he hits his irons just a little bit better. He's good there. Just remember him at Pinehurst. It was his short game that ended up winning him, the tournament there.
Yeah.
So it's not part of his game to be slept on, and I think, tee to green, but also around the greens is where Bryson can really excel this week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if he plays that way, I think it'll be a lot more fun to watch than the Rory versus Bryson matchup at the Masters. Even, don't get me wrong, that was very fun, but we were expecting it just to be a fight between the two of them. But
oh, definitely. But the drama was also the fact that it was for the Grand Slam. Like, you lose that drama, unfortunately, from now on with Rory in the majors.
But that makes Rory more dangerous, too, because he has that monkey off his back. So I think he's not going to be worrying too much about, all right, I have a lot of pressure here to make this. And, again, he's got that off his back, so I think that's going to make him that much better.
Yeah, definitely. I also read somewhere that Quail Hollow is kind of like the North Carolina version of Augusta. It's got the pine straws. It's got the tree-lined fairways. But did you know that the original architect, George Cobb, it happens to be the guy that made the par 3 course at Augusta?
Nice.
Yeah, so I think the tie-in, is worth mentioning.
Yeah. To give you a couple draft lines here. Scotty's plus 425. He's the favorite. Rory's plus 500. Bryson plus 950. John Rahm plus 1800. Defending champion Xander Schauffele is plus 2200. A guy who's really been a standout these last, I guess, year and a half or so, Ludwig, he's plus 2,800. Jordan Spieth, who's going for his career Grand Slam here, he's plus 5,000. The Sepp Straka, of course, plus 6,000. Your boy Sergio Garcia, plus 12,000. And a name that shall ever live in infamy when it comes to the PGA Championship, Michael Block, plus 250,000. So if you make that bet and he wins, you can throw a block party. But Michael Block all the way down the bottom at 250,000. But what a story that dude has. I love the guy. I love the dude.
Do you want to read through the Michael Block part?
Go for it.
No, you go for it. I was hoping the Block Party song would come through better. It didn't.
Oh. I could probably insert that in there. Yeah, send that to me. I'll put it in there.
I don't know. I just YouTube something. Or,
right,
I just did it on YouTube and had my phone up, and it was like a shitty live on TV performance, like on late night show or something.
I'll find it. But yeah, good old Michael Block will attempt to repeat his magical run he had at the 2023 PGA by slam dunking holes in ones and slam dunking his way into our hearts. That was so fun, though, man. That was so much fun.
I love it. Because these PGA professionals never do well, first off. And this guy was just having the time of his life to finish T15. You know, strolling down the fairways with Rory next to him. Like, Rory's grinning ear to ear because he knows what he's watching is just so incredible. It was so cool to watch.
That was great. And this year he booked his spot at Quail Hollow by finishing top 20 at last month's PGA Professional Championship. So he had to earn his way in, of course, this year. But, God, that was so much fun. Like, that slam dunk on 15 at Oak Hill. Like, it was the event's only hole-in-one.
No, yes, correct. At what point does qualifying 12 times for the PGA Championship just count you as a professional? I think just qualifying 12 times alone is a feat in itself.
Right. He should have an exemption every year. Give him an exemption.
Yeah. Call it the block.
So good, though. He said, I'm going to Quail Hollow, and I'm very happy. The goal this week was to kind of show my kid, his caddy Ethan, the nuances of playing golf, and I think I did, Block said after sealing PGA Championship qualification. This is per Golf Digest. Keep it in the fairway, off the tee, hit the green. If you miss the green, get up and down, make a conservative chip, and then be a decent putter. I think I showed him a good way to do it.
That's the
what
most
better
PGA
golf advice is there?
That's the most PGA professional, look at playing golf ever. Oh, hit the fairway, hit the green, get up and down if you miss. Not a hard game.
Guys, golf is so easy. Just keep it in the fairway. It's not that hard.
Fairways and greens, boys. Fairways and greens.
Yeah.
Just got to be a decent putter.
So
Two putts. Two putts is a par.
2 putts. That's kind of like I like what I say though. Like if you miss the green, your first chip is your putt. Your chip is your first putt. So get it close. I could be a PGA pro with that mentality. But
yeah.
And he goes, if I finish third, fourth, or fifth, or whatever it is, as long as I'm in the top 20, I'm going to Quail Hollow, and I'm very happy. Well, buddy, I hate to tell you, but you're a plus 250,000. So I think having him in the top. I want to say top 20 or something like that was like plus 10,000 or something ridiculous like that too. So they're not predicting he's going to do well. I think it's going to be a rough go for him just because it is a longer course and he's not one of the longer hitters on tour.
Look, just for fun, I will put $1 on him to win 2,000.
You have to.
Just for fun.
You never know what can happen. and you're a proud sponsor of the Block Party.
There you go. Proud sponsor of the Block Party. We'll celebrate when he wins.
Not
an if. So not an if. When.
When. Yep.
When.
Boys winning it this year.
Do you have any picks for this week?
I do. I'm taking, and this shouldn't be any surprise to you, I'm taking my boy Rory.
Okay.
I'm picking him this week. He's had so much past success. He's got the momentum. He's going to be chased down by Scotty. I think it'll go down to the wire like we saw at the Masters, but it's going to be him and Scotty. Unless Scotty gets arrested again, then Rory's going to run away with it. But as I kind of alluded to earlier, if I had to pick from the field, not one of those guys, I got to go with Bryson.
Okay, that's fair. I love Bryson this week. Like I said, I think the emotional loss at Augusta will play for him as well. One of my picks is Max Homa. He's picking the game back up. He showed pretty well at Augusta. He played pretty well this week also up at Philly Cricket. But he's a past winner at Quail Hollow. He played really good in the President's Cup there as well. So I would love to see him have a really good showing as well.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. I think Xander might show up a little bit too. I don't think Xander's winning, but I think he's getting better off that injury he had, and he's kind of starting to put his game back together as well. But if I'm going to bet top 5, I think Rory, Bryson, and Scotty or top 3, I should say. I think Rory, Bryson, and Scotty are going to be a safe bet to finish if you want to do a top 3. I wouldn't put them in an order. Like, again, I'm going to, for betting purposes, I wouldn't put them in order, but I think having all of them in the top 3, you'll probably make some money.
Nice. I like that list. Give me Justin Thomas. Give me Jason Day. I'm going to sprinkle a little on Ricky Fowler, another one that was kind of not in contention on this past week, but also finished really well. Again, I'm just looking at guys who have played well at Quail Hollow before and have actually won there. So those are my guys.
Top 10 for Ricky, you think?
I'll take it. I just had the odds for him to win. I want to say it was 8,000 or 15,000.
Yeah, he had something kind of like ridiculously insane to win, and he's not winning it because he doesn't have that length. But I'll give you a top 15 for him. I'll give you that. I don't know if I can go top 10 for Ricky, but I'll give you a top 15.
That's fair. I'll take it.
Yeah, Michael Block's not going to make the cut. I hate to say it, but I don't have him making the cut.
Oh man,
like I'll put money on missed cut for him.
We're rooting for it. How about,
I'd love to see him do good, but if I want to make money.
Oh yeah, if you want to make money.
Yeah.
Safe bets. How about Scotty Scheffler, by the way? He hasn't played a single stroke play event at Quail Hollow, which is crazy considering they host a tournament almost every year.
Yeah. It's his rookie tournament there.
Yeah, it is. He played in the President's Cup in 2022, but he was 0-3-1, which is a terrible record, especially considering that the European team took 12 and a half points that week. So he was responsible for almost a quarter of the points that went to them.
Yeah. So not having that course knowledge, do you think, does that hurt him? Or I don't think it'll make a difference for him.
It doesn't help him.
So good.
Let's put it that way. I mean, most of these guys have played there probably 10 times in competition. It's just it's weird to me that someone who has been as good as he hasn't played there.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Did you see the video of Hideki?
Continue.
You didn't see the video of Hideki Matsuyama? Oh my god.
Oh, in the rain on the practice green?
Yeah, in the rain. Yeah.
It was wild. Absolute grinder, Hideki.
Yeah, credit to Austin Eckroat for seeing that. I forget what his odds were to win, but he's like got a ridiculous odds that he's, might make the cut, might miss it. But yeah, he took this video of Hideki standing out in just pissing rain while two of his boys were holding umbrellas for him. And he tags it. This guy wants it.
Yeah, that was quite the shot.
What a great video. That was a great video.
I saw some tape on the TV today of the guys walking down the fairway in the sunshine today, and the water is just squishing out of, from underneath their feet. That course has been absolutely dumped on.
They've had so much rain today. I'm looking at a timeline of it. What is it here? So Monday, 6:30, due to the anticipated inclement weather, no spectators allowed on the court on site on Monday. So no spectators Monday. On Tuesday, we had play suspended to 12:35 due to weather. Play resumed at 2:17. So it was just like drenching rain on Monday and Tuesday. Like Tuesday, we had some nasty storms come through here today.
Yeah, that's all coming up my way. I mean, I think it started today, but that's the rest of the week here. But you take into account how much water is on that course right now and how long it is. I mean, you're not getting that rollout off the tee. That driving distance is going to be extra important this week.
Yeah, it's going to make it that much longer. It's going to help the approach shots going into the green because it might stick some more. But oh man, like you're taking a long course and making it even longer.
Holding the green when you're 190 out. I mean, you take it.
It's still going to be hard,
but you're still pretty far away.
Yeah, and how about some of these starting times? Let's talk about the 8:45 starting time. Where is it? 8:22 starting time. Mm-hmm. Rory, Xander, and Scotty going off all in one group.
You got World 1, 2, and 3 in the same group. That is a ridiculous pairing. I mean, so much for sharing the wealth for the TV audience. But I guess it makes featured groups a good one to watch.
Oh, it's an easy one. No problem right there. Kicking us off are going to be Luke Donald, Padraig, and Martin Keimer at 7 a.m. But I think we might be seeing the final group in the 8:22 a.m. group. Like I don't think there's a question about that.
I mean, you have a good chance that two of those guys might be in the final group. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Probably not the last three tee times on Sunday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not counting Xander out at all. We got Phil's going off at 7:49 if anybody wants to watch him. And I saw something. What is the tweet?
Look, I mean, Phil, Tommy Fleetwood, Jason Day, not bad. I'll take the 7:38 of Brooks Koepka, Ricky Fowler, and Shane Lowry.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one on this course with them. There we go. Only 2 active players are 1 major away from the career Grand Slam. We have Phil, who has 10, and Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is going for it today, or in this tournament. But I feel for Phil, man. so close so many times not getting the career Grand Slam. Spieth not getting it done this time around. I'm sorry.
No, you don't think so? I mean, no, it would be cool. It would be cool to see.
I'll give him 15. I'll put him top 15, but he's no way. Like, and I'm talking like just on the edge of the top 15. Michael Block going out at 12:41 with Eric Van Rooyen and Mackenzie Hughes. So midday tee time for him.
Putting the star on the PGA app right now, Michael Block.
Favorites.
Yeah, exactly. 125, we've got the Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed, and Ludwig pairing.
Now, who do you got in that? Because that's gonna be a tough bet.
Give me Ludwig. Give me Ludwig.
I agree.
On that one.
I agree. Ludwig is so good, and he is so young, and he's so good.
By the way, to call back Saturday, watching Ludwig play with Hideki, it did not look like he was enjoying himself. One, Ludwig didn't play well, but Ludwig's a very quick player, and Hideki was very slow on a couple of the putts I was watching. He was definitely being held back.
Yeah, you know the snail thing where it's like, I don't know, you can live forever and we'll give you $1 million a year, but there's a snail chasing you, and if the snail catches you, you die. I'm going to put the snail in Hideki's golf bag because there's no way.
It's never catching you.
No, not going to happen. 147, we got Bryson, Victor Hovland, and Gary Woodland. Bryson's coming out of that group easily, but, you know. 158, Sergio, Daniel Berger, and Russell Henley. Just got to get the Sergio counter numbers up. Not too much else the rest of the day going on. We have, Justin Rose going out at 209, but you got some pretty interesting groupings going on here.
Got Rafa Campos out at 215.
Yep, Rafa Campos 215. With Ryan Lemon and Matt Wallace.
That Rafa Campos reference is for people that listened to one of our first ever episodes.
Got to call back and reward everybody. But hey, you can listen to the early episodes if you want to on the archives.
Go learn something.
Spotify. Akshay going out at 8:55. Denny McCarthy and Sam Byrne.
How about 12:52? We got Lucas Glover, Max Homa, and world number 1 Joaquin Niemann.
Mm-hmm. I like Max in that group. I'll take Max on that.
I do too. Like I said, he's one of my picks for this week. Real quick, Joaquin Niemann still hasn't finished top 10 in a major. Does he need to show up this week in order to be taken seriously?
I think he needs to impress some people. Yeah. And I think a lot of the live guys need to show up this week, especially with what we touched on in our last episode, where there are talks about live golf joining the world golf rankings. I think a lot of those guys need to show up and say that, hey, we can still run with the PGA pros.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be important for these guys to keep earning their spots in these majors too.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with that point.
What do you got for Akshay? Because he's a long hitter.
He can be. Man, I don't know. I feel like he's very up and down. He's got the potential again to do something. Wouldn't be surprised if he wins at Augusta one year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I will always root for him. I got a really sick picture of him.
Yeah, he's so good. He's world golf ranking 28. I mean, second PGA Championship. Second PGA Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I obviously not going to be top 10, but he's at least making the cut. I might even bump him up to top 30.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think he can definitely be in contention this week. I'm still not sure if he's a big enough name to win this week. I don't think there's going to be any surprises come Sunday. Maybe even the top 10. I'm hoping for a really star-studded weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be exactly what everybody thinks it's going to be. Like I said, I think having Rory, Bryson, and Scotty in your top three are a solid bet. But yeah, Akshay is going to show up. I think he'll show up and make himself look good. I'm an Akshay stan, so
yeah, there you go.
Surprise.
There you go.
But yeah, that's about it. It's going to be a fun weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be down in Florida, actually, hanging out a bit, but I'll catch what I can down there, and we'll have the recap for all you guys in an upcoming episode. But, Kev, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the PGA, or...
No. Again, looking forward to it. I mean, we talked about the fact that it's at a course that these guys see so often. Would you like to see the PGA or majors in general kind of broadening their horizons and maybe showcasing something different than like a yearly event?
I think it depends on the course, really. Like, if it's something special, like hypothetically, I'd love to see Philly Cricket Club show up more on tour than once in, forever. But having Quail Hollow as a major location, I don't know, because I think the majors need to be special. I think the majors need to be the events that are showing off the best of the best and how the best of the best can play. And it should be a spectacle that we don't see week after week after week. And I could go back through how long have they been having the Truist, back when it was a Wachovia, back to the early 2000s. I can go back and watch them playing at Quail Hollow for forever ago, and I can see that 1,000 times. So I would like to see the majors being held at places that will really test these guys. And not that Quail Hollow won't. Quail Hollow is really going to test these guys, of course. It's a difficult course. But like the U.S. Open being held at Chambers Bay, Aronimink next year for the PGA Championship, I think that's a really neat thing. Bethpage, I think that's what it should be. I think the majors should all be special treats and not something we see week in and week out. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're getting Aronimink next year, PGA Frisco the year after that, Olympic Club, Baltusrol. Baltusrol hosted in...
It's like 5 years ago?
2005 it was.
No, it was more recently than that.
It might have been. I was there in 2005. I remember I got a Jesper Ponovich autograph that week.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up because I was supposed to go up there and volunteer for that, but the rain was just so bad.
Yeah.
And I was so sick. I'm like, this would be really cool, but there's no way. I want to say that was like 2016, 17, 2016.
Okay,
yeah.
So they hosted in between.
It was Baltusrol. Yeah. But yeah, it needs to be something special and something unique that we don't see week after week. But I think Quail Hollow might be one of the few exceptions to that. Maybe. But I don't know. I don't like it.
That's fair. That's fair. It will be a good test of golf. A friend of the show is predicting a lot of birdies this week.
Okay. I don't know if I'd place bets on a lot of birdies this week.
I'll leave it at that.
But
so that was my argument. There's a one of the sports books up here has a promo of like place a $25 wager on somebody to win, and when you do that, you get $1 for every birdie they make. And he was arguing it's good value, and I was like, "There's no way these guys are making 25 birdies."
No, not at all.
Hey, prove me wrong, guys.
You never know, but okay.
Yeah.
Interesting bet by the sports book up there. But
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I guess that'll do it then for the week. I don't know if you have anything else, Kev, or we're all good because I've
think we
gone
hit
through
on
all my
everything
notes.
here.
I've said my piece. Yeah, I think we've hit on everything as well. Couple cool things going on the socials on YouTube, Tending the Flag, of course, and Instagram at Tending the Flag or at Tending Flag, and we're also on X at Tending Flag. We have our first trick shot video up, which is a series we're calling the 100 Shot Challenge, where one of us lays down a challenge. We have to make a trick shot in 100 shots, and the other guy has to beat him. So our first one of those is up. And also our very first, I don't even know what we're calling it. I guess I'll call it a play-along for now. But a play-along where you can come along and play a couple holes on the golf course with us. And over the last week, I went to the historic Kingsmill Resort Golf Club, which is home to the river, the plantation, and the woods course. And I played the river course, which is an absolutely gorgeous course. It's a Pete Dye design. I filmed us playing 16, 7. Well, I filmed me playing 16, 17, and 18. You guys can come along for the ride. And that is going to be releasing on Friday, either Thursday or Friday, something like that. So keep an eye out for that on our YouTube page as well. And we're going to start making some more content and getting things up there. We should have the second trick shot challenge coming up in a couple weeks. I'm also going to start the rumor that we may be starting a gaming channel. I don't know. Kev, have you heard rumors about that?
I heard a little inkling.
Heard a couple rumblings about that. Of course, where we're playing the 2K and playing some interesting courses that we come across in there. We played that Disney course you had me playing the other week was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some absolutely brilliant and creative course designers in 2K25.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll look forward to that. We'll get a little Tending the Flag Society going out there.
Yeah, get that going. Get some, maybe do a Twitch stream of it, or at the very least put it on YouTube, but maybe Twitch it live. I don't know. A lot of
I'm down for
stuff
that
to do there, but yeah. But yeah, check out more content coming soon on the Instagram and the YouTubes and X and all those good things, because my summer might be freeing up so I can post a little bit more. Kev, hopefully yours can free up some more too and give you some time to get out there and make some postings as well.
Yeah, look, I'm counting down the days. School is wrapping up soon.
It's fair. And hey, maybe one of these weeks we'll even get to play together somewhere. What? It'd be great. Yeah, so that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget, as always, to like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends what you think about us. Give us your feedback, because we're just two guys who are kind of making it up as we're going along. So any constructive criticism would be awesome. And again, socials are at Tending Flag on Instagram, X, and YouTube. And yeah, I'm PJ. He's Kevin. And see you guys on the other side of the PGA Championship when we give you our recap on a very special episode next week. So
Awesome.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you all for hanging out, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good week.
Have a go on. Enjoy week 2 of the major.